Hello, I'm John Sandager, your host of Israel in Focus. This program is brought to you by Yad B'Yad, but it wouldn't be possible without the efforts and support of this station. This station, KCHF, Channel 11's love of Israel goes back to its founder, Blackie Gonzalez of blessed memory, and has been continued faithfully by his family. And so they are the ones that continue to bring to this audience information about Israel, the land, and her people. Today I have with me a very special guest I've just met, Stuart Katz. He is the CEO of Isramedica, a fascinating subject which I'm not familiar with. It has to do with Israel's involvement in medical treatments and the ability for people to go there for medical treatments. And when I first started thinking about this, I've been so impressed and kind of fascinated with the medical technology that is coming out of Israel, the research, the advances in medicine and treatments and so on and so forth. And I think it's becoming almost a medical center. First of all, tell us about Stuart Katz and how you ended up being the CEO of Isramedica, and then we can talk about what that means.
Well, John, I live with my family in Israel in a place called Hashmonaim, which is smack in the center of the country. It's located between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. And Isramedica was founded just about a year ago. We're nearing our 1-year anniversary. I was approached by a friend of mine and said, Stuart, why don't you put together your love of travel and your medical training? I have a master's in public health and I've been in the travel industry for over 20 years. And it sounded like an interesting idea and began to explore and found this concept called medical tourism, which is basically where patients or people from one country travel to another country for a specific treatment or procedure.
We might be familiar with that because we talk about people that may be going to Mexico, and some people are going to Canada for prescription drugs, so on and so forth. Is that a part of the change that's happening?
So the people going to Mexico, Mexico is probably the #1 destination for Americans in terms of medical tourism. The drugs coming from Canada are different. Israel also has a number of brokers that you can order drugs from there. So they're actually two different things. Right. But going to Mexico is. The #1 destinations from the United States currently are Mexico, Costa Rica, India, and Thailand. And Israel is not there. We set out and said, we live in Israel, our company's in Israel, and where Israel is a big medical tourist destination, primarily from the former Soviet Union, from Bulgaria, from Greece, from Cyprus, and other destinations within Europe, it's almost non-existent from the United States. And we said, with a US population base, 40 million people that currently don't have medical insurance, occasionally they may need a procedure that needs to be done. The love of the Christian community, evangelical community of Israel, and to go there, why not combine the two? And that's what we've set out to do. We're in the process of developing that.
Okay, so I'm a resident in New Mexico, and why would I want to go to Israel to get medical treatment?
Well, a few reasons. First of all, the quality of medical care in Israel is really second to none. We work only with American doctors or American trained physicians. Not that there's anything wrong with Israeli trained physicians or native Israeli doctors, but we have the patient's concern in mind. And when someone is traveling 10,000 miles for medical care, we don't want while all Israeli doctors speak English, we want them to be able to communicate with their doctor without an accent. We deal with Anglos and people that the patient is gonna feel comfortable with, and that's the patient's comfort level is of the utmost importance to us. That's one reason.
Okay.
The second reason is the cost, and depending on the procedure. And we're not talking when you don't feel well that you're going to get on a plane and go to Israel.
Right.
We're talking if God forbid, you should need a knee replacement or a hip replacement, or you want dental implants or cardiological procedures that need to be completed. Israel is a prime destination for that. The average savings, and I say average because it does vary from patient to patient, is approximately 62%, the cost of care. When you add your travel expense, And when I say travel expense, I'm talking a travel expense for the patient and for a companion. We will not take a patient that comes without a companion. It's very important, even though there's a cost savings, it's important that a companion, whether a family member or a dear friend, accompany them every step of the way. When we take all that into account, you're still going to be saving roughly around 40 to 45%. So the cost factor is the second. And the third is you're going to the Holy Land. And I don't have to tell you how many medical miracles Jesus performed there. Not that we say medicine is a miracle, but why not have the procedure done in the Holy Land?
Ladies and gentlemen, go to Israel. I hope you don't need there for procedure, but go to Israel. And those of you who are watching this, pray for the peace of Israel. Thank you, and God bless.
Israel in Focus is produced with the intention to bring a clear understanding of the issues and events that are taking place in Israel and the Middle East. Each week, join host John Sandager as he articulates the information being shared to bring a clear perspective to the complex issues influencing our Judeo-Christian values. For a copy of today's program, send $20 to Sun Broadcasting, P.O. Box 4338, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87196. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the management and staff of Sun Broadcasting. Israel in Focus is a production of the Sun Broadcasting Company.